Hello everyone, it's Tonya with Scribbles in Time. I wanted to do a flip through today of my latest journal. It's early morning here and I have the house to myself, so we'll see if I can get this done pretty quickly. This journal has been a very special journal for me. I have been working on her for quite a while. I started her back before, trying to remember the name. I don't remember the name of the journal, and it sold, so I can't even remember the name of the journal. But I had started her before that one, and I have had a lot going on in my life. I think all of us do. I think we all live pretty busy lives, but for me, the past month has been, it's been a trying time, but at the same time, it's been just such a blessing for me because God has used the opportunity to really speak to me. And so this journal, I make some journals, I call them conceptual journals because I kind of do them based on a story in my mind. However, this one was not. This one was just made just strictly based off of what I was going through in my life, the blessings that I was receiving, just spiritual blessings that I was receiving. And so I have named this one Simply Grace, and I think the name says it all. So anyway, I'll stop rambling. I do need to keep this short, and I just really wanted everyone to understand the personality that I hope that I have been able to portray in this journal. Part of what I decided to do was I decided to keep the books just raw, and I mean, they're old. They're old books. I've certainly had older books. Like I think these are probably early 1900s, and I have books from the 1800s that are not nearly as aged and worn as these two books were. But these books, you could tell, have been very well used and loved, and they are grungy and just worn out. And I love that because that is the personality. You know, I think we all go through life sometimes feeling tired and worn down, and we just, you know, we still have our beauty to show. Beauty is not on the outside. So anyway, I didn't want to, like, I didn't put corner protectors on these, and look, they are fraying on the corners, but I feel like the way the journals are used, you don't really pull on the corners. Someone can add corner protectors to these if they so choose, but I did not want to. I want it to be in its raw beauty of its age and its simplicity of its character. So anyway, that kind of explains the grunginess that I went with on these book covers. I didn't put a lot of embellishments on the areas that had the aging to them because I wanted them to show. So you'll see there are two different books. I did the writing journal on the front part and the art journal as the main portion of the book. And so yeah, this is the top view. This is the side view. I'm sorry, I'm going to turn it so that maybe we can see it a little bit better. And the bottom. I did use these really pretty charms, which you'll see when we get to the signatures where these are hanging out of. And then from the art journal, a beautiful cluster of roses, and then some pearl, I guess pearl ball beads. I don't know. But on the cover, I used a snippet roll that was gifted to me. I did not make that. I can't take credit for it. I don't think I've ever really made a snippet roll, but it's beautiful, and that was gifted to me by a very dear friend. She actually didn't want me to say her name on video, so I'm not going to say her name. But anyway, very dear friend gifted me a snippet roll, and I reached out and let her know that I used it on this journal. And there's a dragonfly here in the center, just beautiful, delicate. And then I did do the little glass vial with the little pearl seed beads and little golden flakes of, I don't know what they are. I've had them for a while, and I'm starting to get low on them, but I don't even know what they are, so I can't even replace them. A little rusty hook there with a pearl style bead hanging there. And then I did the leather straps and the little buckles, little plastic buckles that I have in my Etsy shop that I've aged up. And then I stitched the leather on. on the spine, this was the first time I've ever done kind of an exposed spine where you can see the signatures inside of it. That was a lot of fun, actually. I love the look of an exposed spine, but typically on my style of journals, I've never thought that would work for my style, but I thought it turned out really pretty, and I'm very happy with it. I ran the leather across the top and the bottom. They're not functional. They're for, they're just for looks. On the back, I attached the leather down with buttons, some old buttons. And then I actually went back. I know a lot of people, again, I like things to look kind of primitive and handmade and, like someone put it together. I don't want things to look all fine lined and detailed. I kind of like the grungy handmade look. So I literally went back and kind of added more glue to these so that it shows, because I'm trying to, let's see, so there, and then I did some there. I tried right there, but I don't think it showed very well, but I actually wanted that to show because I wanted this to look like something, that someone made. So that's kind of the outside, and we're going to go ahead and, let me measure. This will probably be going in my Etsy. I've been trying to make up my mind about steering away from Etsy a little bit. I will probably get this posted in my Etsy. If you don't see it, please reach out to me in the comments below, and I'll try to post if it does sell. But yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to post this in Etsy or do it through a private sale. I am playing with some ideas with that. But anyway, so the book is, to the bottom of the cover, it's about 7 3/4 inches, but with all the stuff, the fringe and the paper and everything hanging out, we're at around 9 inches. And then the width with all the items poking out is around 7, but just to the edge of the cover where it sits. And so when you open the journal up, this is kind of what you see at the very beginning. And I wanted to take a minute and point this out. This is a beautiful lion's head, and I did not permanently attach that. So let me explain. So I have a handful of these, and I love these because I love the lion and the lamb and the symbolism of the lion and the lamb. And I thought these lions were just beautiful, but I don't know what they are. They're very old. I think they're some type of drape hooks, but if I can get that on camera, you'll see that there are some very sharp hooks on the back of this. And it almost looks like you could even hang it on something, like there's a little nail hole kind of thing. So yeah, I don't really know what these are made for, but I would imagine maybe some type of drapery hook. And I did not want to permanently attach it to the book just because it's old. These actually were pretty expensive. I paid a lot of money for them. I only have a handful of them. But anyway, so I didn't want to permanently attach it. Whoever gets the journal can. All you have to do is slide it off and glue it down. But what I did was I attached it to a piece of the snippet roll, like I took a piece of the snippet roll and I hooked these little hooks onto the snippet roll, and then I glued the piece of the snippet roll to the book. So it's held on pretty well. It's just not permanent if anyone ever does want to remove that lion's head. And then you'll see over here the art journal portion of the book, and then on this side is the writing journal. And you'll see that I did put this journal cover on backwards. I did that intentional, so you'll see the front of this journal cover on the inside of the book. But guys, these journals, again, it was so obvious that these books had been just loved and used, and so I wanted that to show. So anyway, I put the inside of the book showing. I ran some little holes down there and threaded these keys, these old keys on, just for personality. I thought they looked really cool. And then it ended up having a little bit of a gator mouth, so I kind of ran a piece of leather behind it. It can be snipped off. The journal will still close without this. I just like having that character of a little flap like that. So I just ran a piece of leather across there, put a slit in it, put this really cool metal tab. Let me hold the journal up. This old metal tab here on there. And then if you want to use this as a belt, you actually just slide that through there pull it and then let that hang like that. So that's just a way to kind of close the little writing journal off if you choose to. And then when you open up this journal, this is actually the front of the book. And then there's no writing on it, no name, no title. And little holes I put to thread the keys on with some little eyelets. Some beautiful vintage fabric there. And then all of this is just beautiful. Pretty much everything in here is vintage trim. And then coffee dyed paper. A doily. This is on a bridge score pad, I believe. Beautiful, look at that. I wish I knew fabric better. This one is actually a little flip up, and then I attach this lace onto the side of that page. I can't remember how many pages this are in the writing portion of this journal. I'll go through and count those, and if I'm assuming I'm probably going to end up putting this in Etsy, I'll put all the details in that. And then here I just put a little piece of that snippet, and then this actually folds up as well. And there's a beautiful little picture of some cherubs. Little cigar band. More of the graph paper. This is just a tag off of like a product, and I put a little piece of the leather strip on there and tied it off. This is an old bingo pad with some vintage trim coming down the edge of that. Watercolor paper. A cute little ribbon as a page tab there. Tracing paper. It says 19 blank. You can feel and tell that it's old. I would imagine it's probably 1950s or 60s. It's some type of like an invoice. It says per gallon. So, in fact, I think it says cents per gallon. So anyway, it's some type of old paper. Yeah, and this was the bridge score pad that I showed you the other part of just a moment ago, with a bottle cap, one of the little, I think it's like a wood chip bottle cap. The center of the signature, I've put a little piece of the lace there and tied it in. And then this is where the charms that you can see from the front of the journal hang out. Little pearl style. And then this is a glass chandelier bead. And I left a little piece of rusty wire on the bottom of it, just as it was. And then this is some beautiful, beautiful trim here. Little ice chip ticket. Okay, so yeah, this is the other part of that little paper, the invoice paper. You can see that it says Miller Oil Company, and look at that phone number. That's old. And then the other part of the bingo sheet, some writing paper. Put a little piece of fabric there. A little Scrabble tile, or some type of game tile. I'm not sure what that is. It may not be Scrabble. One of the little game chips. This journal does have a lot of blue in it. Obviously, the journal covers are blue. So it does have a lot of blue. And then this is the back of the writing journal here. And I want to take a minute and show you the inside cover of the bigger book from the outside. Let's see. So the bigger book here, it was some type of school book, and you'll see further into the journal a little bit more about it. But you can see where somebody was just practicing their handwriting all over this, and they just scribbled all in it. And I just love that. The personality and character that it shows, the stories that just tells, just visualizing, you know, all that time ago, someone sitting here and scribbling all in this. And as you know, if you're watching this, you probably already know that my name of my shop is Scribbles in Time, and that's exactly what my name was to represent, was just how we all make our little scribbles in time. So I just loved the inside of this journal. So that's that. And then as we get into the art portion of the journal. So this first signature, I kind of bound as its own little, and you can see in between the signatures that it's got the open spine. But I kind of bound this first signature in and of its own with this beautiful ribbon like that, a real pretty bow. It's like a satiny type of material. And I just thought it was so beautiful to have this delicate and up against this rustic with this, you know, lion's head. And anyway, I just love the look of this, and all the stuff sticking out on the side here. Just adds so much personality to me. And so when you untie the bow, and this is such a pretty ribbon that it's so easy to tie, it's just very, to me, it's very hard to make an ugly bow when you have ribbon this beautiful. I'm not the best at tying bows, but so the first is an old, like a lacy handkerchief, and then a dolly, and I attached them together, and then I kind of stitched on some of the little pearl style seed beads. I don't know how well that's showing up. Can you see? And then this is all watercolor paper here for painting on, which I would hope that whoever gets the journal does. And I do line all of the watercolor paper with fabric to reinforce the pages, because I figure if someone is water painting on these, water will drip down into the seam, and I don't want that to compromise the integrity of the paper over time. So I line it with some fabric to reinforce the paper. And I put some more of the snippet roll here with one of the really cool zipper pulls that I have in my shop. And I attach some leather to it and just kind of stitch that on there to the top as a tab. And then this has some real pretty crochet trim on it. And I actually had put this piece in as one of those tabs where you can go back and attach like a painting or something to it. And then I went in and attached something to it. So here's what I did. I made a pocket area with some more watercolor paper, slid down into the pockets, and I attached that into this tab that I had created for that purpose. So I slid some watercolor paper in there, and my hopes are, if I keep the journal, I'm going to end up painting something on these and having little paintings on these. And then here on the center of this signature is where this rose cluster is, this little charm. Beautiful. I hope that's showing up on camera. So pretty. And then the fabric coming down the center, and then I just tied a little piece of the like seam binding there. Let me see if you can see the roses on that. So pretty. And then some little pink trim coming down the edge of the page. Don't know how well that shows up. And then here we have just some kind of paint on here with some beautiful, I think that's like chiffon. Beautiful trim there. Here's the other side of that hanky with the little pearl seed beads on it. And then this is that signature. So you actually can just close this back up like so. And then tie the bow. And again, I keep the bow kind of tucked up towards the spine like that, so that it doesn't make the journal any bulkier. It makes more sense in person. I don't know how well you can tell on camera, but there is like this extra space here from the thickness of this journal, and so it allows the space for the bow like that. And then into the second signature, we have a crocheted doily. And this is just a stick that has been tied on to the edge of this page. If someone wants to remove it, this can be, you know, snipped off and then put a piece of fabric down the side of the page. You can even tear the page, because these pages all have that torn look, which is the very reason I do that. If ever, like in the past when I've been painting in my journals, if I start painting something and it doesn't turn out just the way I want it, or I've had a situation where I've painted something and then I wanted to use the painting in a different journal, you can literally tear straight down and then just attach something else to the piece of paper that's left to use in whatever other way, whether it be watercolor paper or whatever. And then here is the little bag, and what I did was in the center of this signature, there is this beautiful, beautiful doily here. So I like when you open this up, this beautiful coordinating ribbon is tied here. So I like that to show as an open, kind of open spread when you open it. So I kind of fed this charm up through the handles of this bag, like that. But then when you're wanting to flip through, so this is the spine, the outside part of the spine of one of these journals. I think it's the larger one. You can see that the ends are literally ripped. I had to use it in here in some way, but it was so thin, it literally was just falling apart. So that's why I repeat, when I say those books were just well loved, oh, how they were loved. They were just very well used. Now this clip here, my friend Kathy at Rust Paper Scissors, she has these in her shop, and I absolutely love them. They're some type of, like an old hair clip. And she grunges them, rusts them up, and then she attaches, some of them she leaves plain, which I love just as much plain. And then some of them she attaches these little flat back crystals or flat back pearls. And they're just so pretty. So I used one here to clamp. Inside of this little bag is a canvas bag with this teardrop, crystal-y glass teardrop. It's apparently off of something, I don't know what. I have like 4 of these, and so I put one in there, and then I just put it down in this bag, and then I clipped it on with this clip from Kathy at Rust Paper Scissors. Check her out. And then I put this little fabric tab there on that bag. And then this is where I was talking about with the center, that I put this beautiful cross on there, and then I feed it up kind of through the handles like that so that it holds that open. And then this is the other side of the bag, and I made 2 little pockets. One just has a little tag in it. It just adds some interest from the outside of the journal. And then this is just, I love these. They came as a set. I'm pretty sure they're coasters, but they're wood and they have flowers on them. And I just love these, and so I put one in here so that from the outside of the journal, when the journal's closed, you can see it poking out, and it just kind of draws the eye from these leather straps over to this side, just to kind of, create or engulf the vision of the entire journal. It pulls it all together. So that's the other side of that bag, and some beautiful pom-pom trim with this fabric coming down the center. And then I put the, some, like, I don't know what kind of fabric this is. It's not lace. Maybe it is lace. It feels like it was probably a tablecloth. And then here is where I was saying, so I put my little tab that says Scribbles in Time, my shop name. I put that here because these were the inside pages of the book, the big book here. And you know what? I said earlier that I didn't think I had the copyright, but look, we do have the copyright, because that was the inside title page. And again, this, to me, you can see where this Blaine, and I can't make, he has his name scribbled around, like you can see it right here on this page. I guess he was practicing his handwriting. So I have laminated these pages and put them into the signature, because this is like the epitome of what I mean when I say Scribbles in Time. So I visualize this little boy with his little school book, the McCall Speller. So yeah, I visualize this little boy with his little school book back in the 1930s, late 20s, sitting there scribbling and writing in this book. And, who would know that 100 years later, somebody else would be looking at this and trying to, give it a new life. So I love that. I just love that concept. I know that sounds kind of weird, but that's just, I love that. I love thinking about the lives of people way back when. And then here's the other center of the signature. I've just tied on a piece of ribbon, and there's the little charm hanging from that. And then this is a beautiful little embroidered patch that I've put on the side of this page. And that completes the journal. You can see that it's very grungy. I didn't put gesso. There was a cup, there's paint here, a little bit of gesso. But I did leave some surfaces plain as well, just depending on what type of artwork you like to do. And then there's the back of the book. Don't you? I just love that. I love that. Anyway, so that completes the flip through. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you all have a blessed day. Please, if you enjoyed the video, oh, we have, see if I can block that light shining in. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. I would love to hear from you. I'm sorry that I don't respond back. I promise I read every single comment. And when I'm in a situation where I can, you know, type and respond back, I absolutely do. But I love you all very much. I hope you all have a very blessed day and stay safe and healthy.